get excited, it's birthday book haul time. Yes! So, without further ado, let's do this. So the first 3 books were gifted to me from my friends. I won't talk about them too much because I've already read 2 of them. So the first one is the short story Mr. Salary by Sally Rooney, which is about a girl who is living with an older man, not in a sexual relationship, but definitely using him financially, and about her trying to dissolve that relationship. It's well written as always. It's Sally Rooney. Basically, if you like Sally Rooney, you'll enjoy this. If you're not fast and think she's seriously of a hype, don't read it. Then I got Ordinary People by Diana Evans, which was shortlisted currently for the Women's Prize. This is about 2 couples, Melissa and Michael, and Damon and Stephanie, who are both struggling in different ways with their marriages, and it's really about their lives in London and how the 4 of them interact as well, and whether or not their relationships will dissolve into nothing, or they'll rekindle and be happy and love, yay, or not, or maybe. Or who knows, read the book, find out. Then I have a book that I'm so excited to read, and that is English Animals by Laura Kay. I don't know a whole lot about this. I know there's taxidermy involved, which is weird and exciting, and the character, what's her name again? Mirka, is Slovakian, and she comes to England and works in this, I think, stately home? Fairmont Hall, with the couple Richard and Sophie, and it's about the complicated relationship between the 3 of them. And taxidermy. Who knows? I feel like I should be able to tell you more about this than that, because it's just been so many people's favourite book of the year a few years back. Like, I'm sure Mercedes loved it, I'm sure Jen Campbell loved it, but I'm still excited to read it, even though I can tell you nothing useful about it. But there's a fox on the cover. How cute. Okay, let's just take a breath. I'm overexcited. New books, not breathing properly. Soz. Back to it. Right, in no particular order, these are the ones that I bought with birthday money / vouchers. So, the first one. The Pride, Mystery and Brood by Muriel Spark. Oh my goodness, I need to calm down. But this is a book that I've been meaning to read for a really long time. I read Memento Mori by her last year, and I enjoyed it, but this is definitely the most famous one, and I think it's about a great teacher who is betrayed in some way by her pupils. I just love this edition so much. Look how cute that is. Look, there she is, it's Muriel. So I'm excited to read this because I feel like it's a real stalwart of modern classics, and I just haven't read it. Why haven't I read this? I'm going to read it, so it's going to be great. And it's super short, so that's nice, and it's going to fit up here, wait. Yes, here. So, yay. Then I have another modern classic, which is Wide Sargasso Sea, which I always want to call On a Wide Sargasso Sea, and I don't know why, but it's just Wide Sargasso Sea by Jean Rhys. I don't actually have that many White Spine Penguin modern classics, so I'm trying to get more of them before they all changed that other colour, because even though I like that other colour, I don't want to have loads of that and then only like 5 White Spine classics. So I'm glad this is still White Spine, and I also love this cover. Anyway, sorry, this is about kind of a prequel to Jane Eyre, and I don't want to say which character, even though I feel like everyone knows it, but it's set in the Caribbean, and I think, yes, Caribbean, exotic, but it's, I think, quite a clever homage to Jane Eyre, and I love Jane Eyre, and this is much shorter than Jane Eyre though, so I am going to read this quickly. I think I'm going to try and read this next month. Super excited for this one. Then I bought The Girl Aquarium by Jen Campbell, and I won't talk about this too much because I just wrapped it up, but it's a poetry collection, and it deals with twisted dark fairy tales and deformity and disability / disfigurement in the world. Well, that wasn't what I was trying to go with that. Trying to be clever and you fail. That's just what happens when you're excited and you just can't talk properly. But this is the first poetry collection that she's written that isn't just a poetry pamphlet, and it was really good. Would recommend. Yes. Then I have Old Baggage by Lisa Evans. Lisa Evans? I don't know, but this is about a woman, Matilda Simpkin. Oh, I like Simpkin. That's a nice surname. Simpkin. Doesn't that sound quaint? Anyway, sorry, this is about Matilda Simpkin, who was a militant suffragette back in the day, but now it's 1928 and most women have the vote, or at least some women have the vote. So what do you do with that when you still have passion and fire inside you as a woman, but you don't have any outlet for it? And I think it's about how she finds a way to do that but it goes wrong. I don't know, but I thought this was such an interesting concept because you always think about suffragettes and winning the vote and post World War One, and that's great and everything, but I didn't think about the aftermath of that and how there will be people who will still have felt strongly about this but didn't have another political cause to get behind in the same way. So yeah, excited. Being excited is definitely a theme for this video. I'm saying that far too often. But the next one is, well, I don't know why I'm holding it there, sorry. Go Wait Gone by Jenny Erpenbeck. That's German, so don't expect me to get that right. It is translated from the German and it is a refugee story. Ding ding ding, love a refugee story. I think it's about a professor who, what's his name? Richard. Oh, that's not a very German name. Oh, I'm disappointed. Anyway, Richard is a lecturer who, no, a retired lecturer. Look, I'm learning all the time. Reading, you know, you learn things. And yes, he has found a surprising new community among the African asylum seekers. So I think it's about citizenship, belonging, sovereignty in countries, the refugee crisis in general, attitudes towards refugees and displaced persons. It's just gonna be great. I can feel it. I think, I might be wrong with this, I feel like this was longlisted, or no, I think it might have even been shortlisted for the International Man Booker Prize. Maybe the Year Flights one. Probably something like that. It sounds super duper good. Wow, I'm just so hyper today. Sorry. But yes, gonna read it, gonna be great. And she's called Jenny, so it's gotta be good. Being biased there. Not even sorry. Then I have another book which was quite big on Booktube a little while ago, and that is Margaret the First by Danielle Dutton. I also just realised that all the books that I bought are by women in this haul. That was not intentional, but I'm here for it. I think I have read more books by men so far this year, so that's completely fair. Anyway, this is about a woman, Margaret Cavendish, who I think she was quite into science in a time, I think, really early 17th century. But obviously that was not the norm, and she was the first person to address the Royal Society. She sounds like a real pioneer for women, and I think it would be great to learn about someone who is completely forgotten in history, essentially, and also just a really lovely, gorgeous cover. So, yay! Then I have a book by an author who I've never read before, but I don't know why, so I'm about to rectify that. That is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. She is just so renowned and I don't know why I haven't got to her before, but this is actually her debut novel, and I didn't realise that, but I think that's quite nice as a place to start. And I think it's about a girl who, a black girl specifically, who wishes that she had blue eyes because of the acceptance that she feels that will bring her, because it's associated obviously with whiteness. I expect this to be really moving and affecting as a novel. It's really short, but I'm sure that her writing packs a punch. I've heard nothing but good things about her, and I cannot wait to begin my journey of reading her novels. Then I have a book which I thought was translated, but I couldn't find a translation note about it. So that is Where Reasons End by Ian Lee. And this is a book that I heard about on Eric's channel at Lonesome Reader. This is about a woman, well, a mother, whose son commits suicide, and because she's a writer, she writes to him as if imagining a conversation between themselves in order to deal with her loss. It just sounds like a really poignant and quite original way of writing about grief, and I think, having really enjoyed Grief's the Thing of Feathers, even though this is completely different to Matt Porter's writing, I do, again, strangely being drawn to melancholy things, quite enjoy books about that kind of thing. If it's well written, I think because I just like feeling things, just making me feel all the things. So if a book does that, then I'm here for it. So I don't want to say that this will be a nice read, but I think it will be a really good book. Then I have my only non-fiction book, surprisingly, out of this haul. I did have to restrain myself, I must say, from buying more. And this is the one that is just top of my list, and it is The Five, The Untold Lives of the Women Killed by Jack the Ripper by Hallie Rubenhold. This first came to my attention on Simon Savage's channel, and I thought, I've got to read this. I studied Jack the Ripper for my master's course in my Victorian London module. I've read all about him, and it is completely true that the women who were his victims are just seen as that. They are just carcasses, they are just women who, the only thing you really know about them quite often in terms of the information given is where they lived and their profession, and that's all. So I'm excited to actually learn about them as real people and see them as a full-bodied, a part of society. Also, this is a really cool cover. because underneath, wait, give a big reveal. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? It's got their names on it. So I think that's great. Although I have to say, I hope that it does completely focus just on their lives and not about the murders, because when I recently read Dead Girls by Alice Boner, I thought that was going to talk about that more, and it didn't. So I'm hoping that this doesn't disappoint like Dead Girls did. But very, very excited to read this, and if I don't get to this soon, I think I might save this for Victoria, because even though it obviously wasn't written in the Victorian period, it's about that period of literature. I mean, history. So this would be a good one to save maybe, because it is quite long, but I'm so excited for this one, and I'm glad that I found out about it. Then I bought a book that, even though it wasn't shortlisted for the Women's Prize, I still really want to read, and that is Lost Children Archive by Valeria Luiselli. And this is about the migrant crisis, I think in America, of children travelling from Mexico to the US border, and whether or not they make it, but also how they're treated, I think, when they do make it. I was going to get the audiobook of this, but then I heard when Anna James and Eric were doing their Women's Prize discussion that it has pictures in, so that made me buy a physical copy of it, and I do think it'll be worth it. It will definitely add to the reading experience. I don't know a whole lot more about it apart from that. I just think it's beautiful, and it sounds like my kind of story. Again, refugees, I'm really up for this. I think it could be a book though that when I finish I'll be really mad it didn't make the shortlist like Ghost Walk, but either way I'm still going to love reading this, I'm so sure. Then I bought a book which is definitely a contender for one of the most beautiful books that I own, and that is The Illumination of Ursula Flight by Anna Marie Crowhurst. I think this is a debut, I might be wrong in saying that. Whatever it is, it's definitely quite heavy to hold. So I'm going to talk about this quickly. But this is about Ursula Flight, who's born under a bad luck comet, and how that gives her a destiny that she must play out in a certain way. I suppose it's again a lot about how predetermined is your destiny and how much can you mould it yourself. Ursula dreams of being a famous playwright, and part of this novel is written like a play, which I think is so cool. I think parts throughout it is kind of peppered through as a different form, and I think it's really fun when authors play with the novelistic form and break traditions. Also, I think it's about her trying to escape her family's expectation for her to marry and the consequences of that. It's all about consequences. It's a coming of age story. I love female coming of age stories. I think this is going to be such a fun ride. Cannot wait for this. Last but not least, I have a graphic novel, and that is The Handmaid's Tale. So I think this is not necessarily written by Margaret Atwood, but it's taken a lot from the book. But it's actually by, wait, I'll tell you in a minute. Who's illustrated this? Renee Nolt, who I think is also Canadian, which is really cool. I saw this in the Gower Street Waterstones and thought, well, I've got to buy that. It looks incredible. I'm going to see Margaret Atwood in October for her release of her sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. So I'm all about The Handmaid's Tale this year, and the artwork is, whoa, I dropped it. The artwork is really beautiful. I'm trying to find a good page. Obviously there's quite a limited colour palette. There's a lot of red, there's a lot of black and white and some green. It's just the entire book as well. I think it looks so clever, because I didn't know how they were condensed into a graphic novel, but it looks like it's exactly the same parts of the book and they haven't missed anything out. Cannot wait to read this. We'll probably read this next month. Just so excited for it. Can you tell I'm excited for these books? But there you go, that is my birthday book haul, and I will definitely try not buy any books for a while, or at least for the month of June. I might buy some in July. We'll see, depends on how my TBR is doing. That is quite a lot of books, but I'm so happy with all of them. I think it's a good range, even though they're all by women. There's a little bit of non-fiction, there's poetry, there's graphic novel, there's translated fiction, there's contemporary, there's modern classics. I think, if I do say so myself, it's an excellent haul. Let me know if you'd like to read any of these books, / how you read any of them. Again, as I always say, unless you didn't like them, I don't want to know, people. But yes. But I will see you soon for Bookish Shenanigans, when hopefully I'm a bit calmer. Bye bye!